Why, hello there. Today we are going to talk about the book The White Horse by Rebecca Harrison. This is a book that's put out through Spooky House Press. I received an ARC of it, and it is a dark fantasy that has folklore intertwined with the archetype of the white lady. It was just a really captivating book. I had started reading it the other night. I just wanted to read a little bit of something before I went to bed, so I started in, and then all of a sudden it was 4 a.m. It just pulled me inside and I couldn't stop reading it. It is musically enchanting because throughout the whole narrative, the main character, Charlotte, is so musically inclined that everything she sees and experiences is through music in one way or another. As the story goes, Charlotte is a child of immense and enchanting musical talent. She's born a peasant and raised as a lady. She is her father's child from another woman, so her father's wife doesn't exactly like her. More like loathes her, pretty much hates her, but tolerates her for the sake of the father and the fact that her daughter is Charlotte's best friend. So upon turning 18, her dad has been passed away for a bit. Her father's wife gives her the boot and kicks her out. And so she goes to live on this big estate and becomes a governess to this little girl named Prudence, who apparently looks kind of like a weasel. She's described as being weaselly, so you get the idea that she's maybe a little temperamental, not the most fun to be around. And her father is a widower who is grieving, and there's this weird thing with the Lady Selwyns that marry into this family, and they all seem to die young and be driven crazy by visions of a white lady and this beast that is talked about in these different songs and in myth, and there's whispers of it. When Charlotte moves into the estate, the house looks out over on this white horse that is out on the hills, and it's like this weird outline of a horse that apparently has been there for years and years. And when she was younger, her and her half-sister Emmy, they'd gone to this like carnival type deal, and they were hanging out, and they went up to where the white horse was. Charlotte had stood on the eye of the horse. Something really weird happened when she did. Like, she almost like blinked out of their current existence and what seemed to be maybe another existence, and saw these stars of a sky that didn't seem to be theirs. And then Emmy had taken her arm and was like, "Come back here." She never really knew if it was kind of like some weird hallucination or a dreamlike state or what it was, and that was years and years ago. But now she lives where it is, and there's weird talk of it, and this talk of the white lady, and the strange tales, how she thinks that she sees the white lady sometimes and is being haunted by her, and then has dreams of her. As she stays with the family and gets to know them, her and the widower start to culminate a relationship, and that sparks obviously anger, jealousy, and misunderstanding with the daughter and the staff that is at the manor. It's a very dark and tangled road that we go down when this starts to happen. It's a captivating and harrowing story that draws you in with its musical eloquence, seeing the world how she sees it in songs and in cadence and different notes and moods. It's beautifully written. It's a highly addictive read. It was really hard to put down. It's at once enchanting, heartbreaking, and it's darkly triumphant. I liked all parts of it. And the characters, you know, the ones you're supposed to dislike, you dislike. Seeing things through Charlotte's eyes and her situation and what happens, coming to understand where she comes from and who she is, was just really beautiful. And I really, really liked it. I love when this happens. I love when I find a book from an author I hadn't heard of before, something I wouldn't normally pick up, and thoroughly like enchanted by it. And I love that. And that's why I love reading indie books. Let me encourage you to explore more of the indie process, because there's so many authors out there and there's so many phenomenal writers that, you know, you don't hear of for all the big publishers. You know, they're just pushing their prize horses. Keeping it with horses, since, you know, the white horse, that. This book was phenomenal. I really loved it. I gave it 5 stars. Musically eloquent writing that was just So captivating. I am a big fan of anything that has folklore tied into it, so that's a major win for me there. And I really like how the story flowed and what happened, and the ending was also really great too. If you like dark fantasy with folklore intertwined and stuff that has like the archetype of the white lady, The White Horse by Rebecca Harrison may just be for you. And if you're a fan of books that are dark fantasy, the next video coming up will be another dark fantasy book, so stick around, check it out. And if you had fun hanging out today, hit that subscribe button, come back, see me again, and we'll talk about more bookish things and weird stuff.